I won't take up too much time. The ticker says 8 more minutes, but I'll probably clear out much before that. I think at the beginning of the day yesterday, I had said that we are extremely grateful to all of our partners, FICCI, the Ministry of Food Processing Industries, the FSSAI through their Eat Right campaign, APIDA, all of our title sponsors and our key sponsors. And I think the most important people that we wanted to thank is you, each and every one of you. Shardul has mentioned that this is basically 5 years for us at GFI India. We started on November 1st, 2017, technically. So it is nearly 5 years. It's been truly the privilege and the honor of a lifetime to work with not just my teammates at GFI India, but many people in this community, all of you in this community, on what I consider, what many of us consider to be the principal challenge of our lifetime, right? Which is how do we feed 10 billion people without continuing to break the planet? On the trajectory that we're on right now, I'm afraid we're not moving fast enough. And this question of what do we do about meat is an absolutely central question to how we save our planet, right? Where we're headed right now, about 90 million Indians will be living in extreme poverty with climate change by the year 2030. We obviously have a huge amount of water stress, land stress, despite talking about resources earlier. And we have a need to provide 21st century resilient jobs to all the people that we have in this country, right? On the flip side of that, we have this huge opportunity. We have this fantastic, young, talented group, workforce, many of whom are in the room here today. We have world-leading scientists, many of whom we lose to other countries and we don't want to anymore. We have a huge, amazing entrepreneur cohort, once again, and we don't want to keep losing them to the likes of Singapore and the United States, but that keeps happening now. And we have this huge opportunity in terms of all of our agricultural biodiversity, our biomanufacturing, and all the things we've been talking about over the course of the last 2 days. So I guess on reflecting over the last 2 days of sessions here on the main stage, as well as in the breakout room, one thing I wanted to say to conclude the conference, essentially, to conclude the summit, is over the last 5 years, we've had a lot of conversations that are all about the promise of this space. We've had the same entrepreneurs and many of the same people you've met here today coming up on stage and in separate conversations and saying, we are very passionate about this and we'd like to launch companies. And what has changed since the last in-person summit that we had, which was 2019, until now, is that people have actually launched products, right? The sector has launched, in a sense. So the conversations we're having now are a lot more sophisticated than we have had before, which is very heartening. It is also very sobering because it makes clear exactly how far we are from what we'd like to achieve and how many gaps we still need to fill, right? Initially, the question was, how do we formulate these products? Whether it's plant-based meat or plant-based egg, plant-based dairy, eventually fermentation-derived proteins, cultivated meat, how do we get them out into the market? And now we've seen plant-based meat out in the market. And now the question is, how do we market these products? How do we distribute these products? How do we position these products? How do we get them to consumers in Mumbai and Amravati? How do we get them to places all across the length and breadth of the country, not in this country, but in the UK and in the US and in Singapore? So we're going to have to do a lot more work, I think, and year 5 is, or year 6 is not the end. I think you know that we're not going to stop until we make ourselves obsolete at the Good Food Institute India. We'd love to create a world where alternative proteins are no longer alternative. We'd love to make them an option that is truly a simple switch and not a sacrifice. And we're absolutely delighted to work with each and every one of you to continue on that mission. So thank you so much for everything you have been doing and will do in the future to work with us on this mission for smart protein. Take care, everyone.